Alright, so now here we've seen how to write a basic macro. Now what we're gonna see is what we recorded and try to understand what was the code generated. So I hit Alt F11, I go to module 1 where my recorded code is, and let's try to understand a few things. So this was the first recorded macro where I think I made a cell bold, italic, I put underline, I changed the background color, I changed the font color, and things like this. Though you don't understand the code entirely, but you can see here that this statement, this line here, is to make a cell bold. So what it says is selection dot font dot bold is equal to true. So this is how the VBA language works. So you say selection, that is the object that you are selected, dot, then you are reading a property of it, that is a font property, and then you are setting bold property to true. So something like this. And then you have italic, you have underline. For changing the background color to yellow, yes, this is a bit too much, but we have some other options as well, and we'll explore them as we go ahead. Then you've got the font color, and here I think you are changing only the font size to 14, remaining everything is false, so everything is standard. So if we have to do the same thing, what would we do? So let's write the code for that. So I say sub code 2 and I put a comment here. Remember, every comment has to start with an inverted comma, and I'll say like code to format a cell. Now in the prior module you see something called selection, but if I scroll down into some other code, the next codes, you'll see that we have used, Excel has used something called active cell. So now this word act, so if you read this code, it says active cell dot formula R1C1 India, then active cell dot formula R1C1 Japan, active cell China, active cell USA. So this thing which is active, that's that is that means that a selected object. So when I say active cell, it means selected cell. When I say active sheet, it means the sheet which is currently selected. When I say active workbook, that means the workbook, the file, Excel file, which is selected. So this word active means selection. So if I have to say anything, if I have to refer to something which is selected, then I use this word active there. So I go back to module 2. I change my codes to something like this. You can drag it so that you can see Excel on the left. Now where is my cursor? My cursor is on cell D8. So this cell D8 is the active cell right now. So there are hundreds and thousands of cells in Excel sheet, but the cell which I can call as selected, the cell which is active, is only D8. So if I want to put a value in that cell, I would tell VBA that in the selected cell put a value. How do I do that? I would do something like this: active cell dot value is equal to upskill technologies. There you go. So this code, if run, would put upskill technologies in that particular cell which is selected, which is D8. So how to run the code? Simple. I hit this or the F5 button. So I hit this and you see that there is a value at upskill technologies in the active cell. If I want to make the active cell bold, I would say active cell dot font dot bold is equal to true. And now if you see here, when I'm typing, I get a list of things that's called IntelliSense. So I say active cell again and I hit dot and I get a list of things, properties and methods of this object that I can use. So I want to make it italic. So until now I'm sure that it belongs to the font group. So I go and type font, then I type dot, and I can scroll down and I can see somewhere there is italic. If this is fine, I hit a tab key, you will get italic there is equal to true. I hit enter. To underline, you can imagine active cell dot font dot underline is equal to true. Then I want to change the background color to yellow. So to change the background color, I would say active cell dot background can be referred as interior. So the background of a cell is interior of the cell dot, I would use something called color index. So if you type color here, you have two things. We'll come to the first one later, but now I'm gonna type color index is equal to 6. So now 6 is yellow. There are 56 colors and 6 means yellow, 3 means red. So you'll get used to that, but right now just know that 6 is yellow. So this is how I change the background color. If I want to change the font color, I would type the same thing again, active cell dot font dot color index is equal to 3. 3 is for red. If I want to increase the size, well, font dot size is equal to 40. So this would be the same code what was generated when you recorded the first one in module 1, this entire thing. So if you were to write, you would write something like this. All right, and if I don't want the first syntax to be executed, I can comment it. So now this code becomes something like this. So if I have a word here, my name, if it's already selected, and all I want is to make it bold, italic, underline, and color, and change the font size and the font color, then this would be the code. So to see how it works, of course you can hit F5, but let's hit F8 and see one after the other what happens. I hit F8, it's ready to run, and the first line says make the active cell bold. So I hit F8 and you see it's bold, then italic, then underline, then change of the background color, change of the font color, and change of the font size, and then you are done. If you want to repeat the same step here, again I would select this, go back, F8, function key 8, and you see all these things happening. So this is how you would write the same code easily with using active cell.